Here we go. Of course, we have seen both of these players on the feature match stage before. Lorenzo Muselli, so decorated with multiple national championship titles. And Teodor, kind of a fan favorite by playing that fan favorite deck, the Sky Striker strategy.
I mean, at this moment, in the most important match of the whole tournament, in my opinion, is the decisive match of who goes to Worlds and who takes the golden ticket for Paris.
And Lorenzo does have the start that he wants. He does have the Vanquish Soul Raisin. So sometimes a Vanquish Soul deck has a bit of an issue with bricking. This one looks very, very nice, bro.
Teodor is one of those players who always likes those rogue strategies. YCS Dortmund top 32 with Vanadium previously, so also a duelist who has proven his skills before. And now the question is, because I think you guys are as unprepared for this matchup as we are. Sky Striker versus Vanquish Soul. Which deck grinds better after all? Holisu is being special summoned from the hand now on the side of Lorenzo. No more Charmy action on the side of Teodor.
I mean, Sky Striker is one of those decks that, even though you can combo off and establish a very good field, you still are not sure that you are going to win, meaning that they have such a good going second strategy.
Absolutely true indeed, and Teodor is for the moment left waiting, and that also is basically a sign of how good Duelist Advance was for the meta game overall, as both of these decks just are in the spotlight again because of that most recent set and because of those new cards like the Holisu we just see resolving here.
Holisu revealing Dark and Fire, therefore you get to special summon monster from the deck. Heavy Borga, no, Jiaolong is being summoned here. I think so far, I don't know if we have seen another Fire attribute. Yep, there is Dogoran, the Mad Flame Kaiju, being another Fire attribute, getting the Surge. Are we going to see a Caesar Valius? Are we going to see maybe Vanquish Soul start, or maybe even Heavy Borga?
We can take different routes here, but Lorenzo, with all those hours of testing, certainly knows the best way to attack this situation. We're searching for Snow Devil directly, which would have absolutely not been the choice that I expected here.
I mean, a very good strategy against Sky Strikers for Lorenzo is probably to keep a resource in hand in order to tag out his main motion zone to play around anchors, and obviously having a Caesar that is cannot be destroyed by card effects on the field.
And also, one more thing, I think Lorenzo might have seen in Teodor's deck that there is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. But he was on the feature match stage before, once on the backup, then on the main stage, and Lorenzo takes every information that there is out there, and I think we just found the line that is playing around the Ghost Ogre, possibly.
This is just how it goes in Top Cuts. You get more information about your future opponents. You know who your future opponents might be even when you're playing, which is something that you don't have in Swiss. Pot of Desires, immediate +1, of course. Beautiful pot card, however, can take away your resources. Those pot cards, sometimes dangerous. We have seen a Pot of Extravagance that banished triple Rock of the Vanquisher already. What can Desires do?
Yeah, it's not quite Pot of Greed, but the drawing result is the same. But sometimes, as you said, there's those unfortunate banishes. For example, like triple engage could just be possible. It's very unlikely, but it might sometimes happen.
And I mean, for Sky Striker going second, the most important thing is to go as fast as possible to 3 spells in grave in order to have the second effect of each spell.
Yeah, I mean, Pot of Desires is a fantastic start in the Sky Striker strategy. It's of course a little bit weak to Droll and Lockbird, depending on what your hand is, of course. Anchor is being chained to the Jiaolong here.
Ooh, okay, Teodor.
That screams linkage to me. No, it is not going to happen.
And the 2 cards are being drawn. And we have also enabled now Triple Tactic Frost and Triple Tactic Talons due to Lorenzo activating that Jiaolong. And one question I have for you guys, how good even is that trap card? How good even is that Vanquish Soul Snow Devil against Sky Striker specifically?
I mean, back when Afterburners and Jamming Waves were crazy good, Destruction Protection was pretty strong. However, I do agree with you. Looking a little bit odd here. On the other hand, Holisu effect, that's pretty strong against Sky Striker, huh?
You're right. Just taking it over. And there is the Triple Tactic Frost I was mentioning. Of course, due to the Jiaolong activating, it is now live. And which card do we desire here? The
I
pot of
think-
desires was already activated, but now any card in terms of spell cards we want.
I think the answer is obvious most of the time in a Sky Striker deck, to be honest.
If it's still in the deck, are we going to see a Sky Striker mobilize, engage, or triple tactic
Oh,
talents?
what is going on here? We do take the Black Gold Loves, and honestly,
smell a super
I think
polymerization.
I also smell the same, Leo. It's smelling very polymerization in here, maybe even super polymerization.
That is something that I did not see coming, that the Black Gold Laughs is being added to the hand here. And Teodor is just now looking at Lorenzo like, yeah, you want to do something, or...
Oh, checking whether Lorenzo is ready to do something. Because, I mean, Lorenzo must smell it as well. Why would you search for that Black Gold Loves? There must be something to discard. And there already is the first Sky Striker Mobilize Engage of this top 8 match. Teodor is a master of drawing this card. He's in love with the Sky Striker deck, has been playing it back and forth, and has this as his most favorite card of all time.
And with 3 spells in grave, the Sky Striker engine starts to pop off really, and we might see again draw engage into gate.
It's just ramped up immediately. Right now, your cards are so much stronger. Draw a card, beautiful quarter century Sky Striker mobilize, engage there. Now, Teodor, do you have a super polymerization, or what was your plan with the Black Gold Laughs that you searched out with triple tactic thrust? Another engage! It's engage after engage! But is that enough? The Vanquish Soul deck is so incredibly powerful. The grind potential of this deck is basically endless. Can Sky Striker compete with that? I mean, it's a good start to go engage into engage. Now linkage is being added as well.
Teodor truly is the chosen Sky Striker player, the one that is meant to be, the one that possibly is qualifying to the World Championship, and those engages, they put in all the work for him.
Now it's his first turn. His graveyard is already filled with spell cards, but his hand is even fuller. We have activated Desires for +1, Engage for +1, Engage for +1. Sets a card.
Okay, we send it for
Maybe
linkage as well.
The
yeah.
god who laughs, just
That
imagine.
hurts.
Could be the case, of course. Maybe. But, I mean, still, if you don't win the game this turn, which is also maybe a little unlikely, Lorenzo has 5 cards in hand as well, and has a Kaiju, which is fantastic versus Sky Striker. I just want to mention.
That is true. But honestly, it's so heads up by Teodor. He valued having a send for the linkage higher than actually getting another engage. Or maybe there is another engage waiting. Who knows, really?
Maybe
In
we
order
have
to play Sky Striker, you need to see not only 1, not only 2, not only 3, but many moves ahead. So I believe that he had planned this sequence many moves before.
I also want to mention that on the other featured match, Rosalie has just won game 1 in a Vanquish Soul Mira. Now Sky Striker A0 is summoned to the field and is going to activate immediately.
This is madness, and Lorenzo looks at his trap card. Is that even going to do any work against the Sky Striker deck? Destroying Sky Striker Link monsters never really is that great, and we activate Zero, and Zero is not only able to search for engage from the deck, but it can also be a pseudo Kagari by adding it back from the graveyard as well.
That is crazy. And now Holisu is activating the effect. We have searched for another Widow Anchor on the side of Teodor, if I remember correctly.
Yes, we did. But we can also just use Ash Blossom and Joy Spring on the effect of it.
All right, now I think that if there is one player who can OTK through a field like this, it might actually be Teodor. Teodor is now checking his graveyard. Are there still 3 spells in there?
Activated the rock effect to special summon from hand.
Yeah.
Uses the effect of that Black Gold loss in the graveyard. It was all the plan. You're so right, Mike. This seems like he was completely, exactly wanting that.
I mean, playing Sky Striker and going so ahead on the tournament, you have to plan the whole each game and the whole.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is engage number 3. Of course, we added it back from the graveyard. Doesn't make it any less impressive.
We're adding the multi-roll. The one of was not banished. We are planning to grind out this Vanquish Soul strategy, or maybe we just have those big power spells that we want to really get through to activate it. Send a card from the field to the graveyard just to be protected from any sort of response. Maneuver is going to send the set card.
What is this? It is another Desires. Of course, we can't activate that anymore this turn, so we may as well. I don't think we want to activate it ever again, this duel even, because our deck is so low in terms of cards
And
even.
you know what? Kagari's getting bigger.
Oh, yes.
And also Lorenzo now doesn't have any response to any spell that Teodor can will activate.
Yeah, Widow Anchor can just keep on taking monsters now if we want, to be honest.
We haven't. Look at this. We have gained so much advantage. 5 cards in hand. Multi-roll is active. We have a Link monster. Haven't even used Kagari yet. We have gone through triple engage without activating Kagari effect or even summoning it.
And now Teodor activates the Widow Anchor as just explained due to the effect of...
Jalon
was already
negated.
negated. That's true. That won't work. Immediately catched by the judges. So instead the target for it is the Holisu. And as we just explained, no way to respond for Lorenzo as the multi-roll did resolve.
Yeah. Judges are checking for potential warnings. Nope, we're just resolving here, Holisu.
Oh, hold on. Teodor is not even sure whether he wants it.
Maybe he's thinking about changing something else also.
Yeah. I mean, true.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
We do have multiple Widow Anchors in our hands, so maybe we just want to take multiple monsters as well here.
So the problem right now for Teodor is that Raisin has been summoned this turn in defense, so he cannot change to attack position. That's why he wanted to take Jialong, who is already in attack, and also the Holy Shoe to also place in attack position. But now I don't know if he's able to OTK through so many monsters that he cannot change to the attack position like Raisin.
And also a little bit of a problem, now that we're taking those monsters to our side, all of a sudden Lorenzo's trap card, the Snow Devil, does become more appealing. Sure, he's destroying his own monsters technically, but still he's also hindering Teodor from putting up more damage onto the field.
And we still don't have a rain in the graveyard, which is also relevant too.
Very, very, very true. There is now the normal summon of Sky Striker Ace Rose. Not the perfect normal summon you rather want to have, Ray, but I guess it will do.
Oh, and we are now playing in the main monster zone with Zeke here. Zeke is going to banish Rock the Vanquisher. And now Lorenzo is considering. He's like, okay, well, my Snow Devil would destroy this anyway, so I'm fine with that. Just lets it resolve immediately. And now Rose is, of course, going to trigger. Yes, because the extra monster zone was removed from the field.
Very true. That is very heads up by Teodor, getting the Link laddering going. Now possible potential for a way into Access Code Talker, maybe? Sky Striker has always been playing that card. First of all, it is Azalea, though. You're very right, Mike. What are we going after now? Just
probably the trap to bait it
Devil.
out before we make Access Code.
Yeah. The question is now, do you even have triple attribute? Mad Love and Dogoran are just being shown.
That's two
No
attributes.
Earth. No Earth. Earth is missing here, so that's a little bit of damage. It is protection from destruction, but the Azalea and the Zero are going nowhere. Meanwhile, Mad Love is, of course, being summoned as well. You can add another spell trap to your hand.
But I think we have another Widow Anchor, but we've blocked, of course, our main monster zone with the Azalea right now. And I also don't really know how we're getting rid of it, because as far as I remember, the Sky Striker A0, it cannot be used as link material, right? Or is that something I am used? Yeah. That's what I thought. Now Kagari effect.
Probably to engage actually here.
Which one do we want? Is there even targets for engage left in our deck?
Linkage.
Oh, linkage, okay.
Yeah.
But this one also says that you can't control any monsters in your main monster zone.
Yeah,
you can make an access code.
Widow Anchor instead.
Does he have access code?
Yeah, he does have access code in his extra deck.
Okay.
He does, but...
But I mean, now we're still missing one link marker, right? Because now we can only go to 3.
So, Teodor...
I mean, you can't use 0 as a link marker anyways. I'm missing Lemnis Gate. I'm guessing that Pot of Desires got rid of it.
Possibly. I mean, 10 cards is quite a bit. It's a quarter of your deck, so there must be some cards that you're sacrificing. And that is another link one, and that is Shizuku now already. Usually a card you're summoning towards the end of your turn. So that is maybe what Teodor is marking here. He is in the end phase now, using the effect of multi-roll. And Lorenzo still has so many monsters left on his side of the field. He must be quite happy here.
Yeah, he's going to be over the moon. This did not look like his game to win. This did not look like he's going to necessarily get another turn, especially since Sky Striker is a strategy that is so well known for just winning games out of nowhere once they get a battle phase. Interesting.
And I think Sky Striker really is one of those decks, as you were already saying it a little bit, that really needs to pre-plan every move you make. You really need to be perfect in execution. You need to be so concrete about every move you make. And I feel like Teodor may have just stumbled a little bit by not chaining the second Widow Anchor early on, because he needed that extra link buddy, I feel like, to actually keep on going.
Yeah, I think because he wanted to anchor the Jialong, but at this point he has already his effect negated, so he may be zoned out at the moment.
Could possibly be the case.
And I mean, now the Shizuku is just blocking your own zone there.
That is true in the end phase now.
Widow Anchor is back in the graveyard.
Yes, maybe because only one spell was activated after the rock activation.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, we started off with all the engages, but that is a very correct thing you catch there. That was only one spell. It felt like so many engages, but of course, I feel like the third engage actually was the one that searched for the multi-roll, and then after that, only the Widow Anchor was activated. Completely correct, and therefore that is something that cannot be set back there anymore.
I'm right now, I think... I mean, I've said it multiple times already. Lemnis Gate is such a crazy card to me. I wonder if you're playing a deck with Pot of Desires, if it's correct to only run one Lemnis Gate, because you can lose that card quite fast.
That is true. Okay, so we can only set back one card. And it looks like it is now back onto Lorenzo, or is it?
We're still discussing a little bit. Lorenzo, you can draw the card.
I think maybe they discuss if he's committed to set the first spell that he touched from the graveyard.
Okay.
Right. We are in Lorenzo Muselli's draw phase here. He has a Kaiju for the Zero as well, because of course Zero can be multiple interactions here as well, contribute itself to special summon out Ray and Rose as well.
A very old-fashioned way to play around Sky Striker.
Oh yes.
Right?
Oh yes, and I mean also, that makes it less painful for Teodor that it actually ended on the monster in the main monster zone, as it was always going to be like that, with the Dogoran of course being public knowledge to both of the players, being revealed for one of the Vanquish Soul effects. Now Vanquish Soul start. It looks really good for Lorenzo. Lorenzo is not only playing for his own ticket to the World Championship, I feel like he's playing for all of the Italian community. Because so far, of course, we have not sent one Italian player to Worlds this year, so he might be the one and only for them.
If it is only one, then it is probably going to be Lorenzo Muselli. He has been such a star, such a middle piece of the community in Italy for such a long time now. Double national champion, Droland Lockbird now for the turn of Lorenzo Muselli. And now we have an Earth Monster as well. We have the Caesar Velius.
Okay, we put that Dogoran back into our hand through the effect of Mad Love, I imagine.
Yeah.
That must be the case. And Lorenzo, when you see him there in the face cam, he always looks so stoic. He always really looks like he's totally in control, totally in the zone, totally up to date on anything that could happen. And certainly feeling good right now because Teodor is not scaring here too much. He's not showing too much resistance at the moment.
I mean, he has a Sky Striker Ace Shizuku in the main monster zone.
Yeah.
That is really not showing any
and soon enough a Dogoran also.
Yeah.
Because Dogoran can also can be summoned again. But I think Lorenzo waits for the right moment in order to have a fire in hand to reveal for Vanquish Soul's effect.
Yeah, this is another layer of skill that you need for the Vanquish Soul deck. When are you going to use all of your cards? Because you need to, just like with Sky Striker, plan out everything in advance to know that you can use your effects to the maximum potential.
Both decks require a lot of skill expression, and I think this is a match that we can enjoy a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's already great. Like, Teodor has drawn, it felt like 6-7 cards on his turn, and still he wasn't able to overcome what Lorenzo put up. It really is a back and forth, and I think Lorenzo recognizes the fact that it is about controlling, even more so than in other matchups against the Sky Striker matchup, because you just want to make sure that you are always ahead, and therefore having resources in your hand probably is sometimes more important than having one on the field against Sky Striker specifically.
Yep, especially if the deck doesn't push through your 8,000 life points. So far, Teodor has dealt no damage whatsoever. And if we're looking at the time, this is still game one. We're at 27 minutes left and a few seconds. So if you're playing a match that goes into timeout, you don't want to play versus Vanquish Soul.
That is very true. I mean, both of the decks having their options to modify life points, with, of course, the Sky Striker strategy also having Kaina famously. But the Borger is doing a bit more damage than the Kaina can gain, really.
I was going to say Kaina is kinda doing less than Borger, because Borger is doing heavy damage. Now Caesar Valius was activated, linkage destroyed, on resolve was banished here as well. We know that Teodor has linkage follow-up in hand because of Shizuku. Holisu is being activated now. And, I mean, you don't need to Kaiju this card if you can just steal it, right?
You can Kaiju and then steal.
Yeah, sure, you can just double the attack of the monster.
Yes.
That is true. Teodor thinking now, of course. Okay, we are in the battle phase now all of a sudden. There's quite a few spell cards, honestly, in the graveyard, so I don't even know how much damage that is going to be, but there's still Jiaolong, Holisu come in.
And there is no Ray on the graveyard also, which is very important.
That is not going to be game immediately on the spot, but I think it might be getting us possibly into Borger range here.
If he is under 3000, for sure.
I mean, this dealt 900 damage, then Jiaolong does a little bit over 2000, and Holisu is only at 500 attack points. Very, very weak for a level 5 monster. Maybe you should not play this card. But this is still out of double Borger range.
Deck building advices by Leland Koenig, always the best ones to get.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that is not just yet the double Borger effect range. So we would even survive a Borger to come down here to activate its effect on this turn and on the follow-up turn. So Teodor may be feeling okay here, really.
Can you somehow recycle the Snow Devil to deal some extra damage? Because this card also burns for a lot. Now we're still having a conversation, a lively conversation with the judges, which is, I think, in a match of this important, absolutely understandable.
That is very true.
Teodor is now still contemplating. I mean, I think he's probably very happy in this spot that he got a turn. This looks like a pass. Lorenzo gave him the play.
And roll cannot be activated this turn since Teodor didn't activate Engage since he had a monster in the main monster zone. And the second roll obviously comes back from the Zika's effect.
You know what? I think I picked up on something just there. We got that Dogoran into our hands so handily, but now thinking about Dr. Madlov, Dr. Madlov can only give the monster to the hand with the lowest defense, and Shizuku is not only reducing attack points but also defense points, and therefore I think Lorenzo, with activating the effect of Dr. Madlov, actually, when we think about it here completely in detail, you would have to give one of your own monsters back into the hand, I feel like, because the Dogoran wasn't the monster with the lowest defense, and I think that is what they're currently trying to figure out as well. So I feel like for a very short moment, let's bring it over to us here and let's see how this situation is developing, because I feel like that is what is being discussed currently at the table, because we need to rewind that there. I mean, honestly, I never thought that Shizuku does that. I was always sure it was only attack points, but it is attack and defense points indeed.
Yeah, that is something that I haven't really seen coming to this. That's also a lot to rewind, because the entire turn was also...
True.
Was Dogoran the Mad Flame Kaiju revealed during that turn? I feel like you could have also revealed Razin, so it doesn't make a big difference.
Probably not, yeah, you're right.
We got Razin back into the hand somewhere, but it would have been crazy important if the Kaiju was used on the opposing side, bounced back to hand, and then revealed as a crucial part of an effect.
Yeah. And I mean, right now, there is a very huge chance that since Lorenzo might actually need to bounce back one of his monsters, he maybe have an easier to kill line, because, for example, cannot summon again Madlov or Holisu, for example.
That would be hilarious if this actually helps him out, I'm not gonna lie. But also, it's such a niche situation in general, right? Like, both players didn't recognize it. Also, we took a moment to even figure it out. That is something that really doesn't happen that often. And not gonna lie, Shizuku on the field, it has been a while. It has been a while that this card was so impactful. But here, that attack and defense reduction is very important.
I mean, that's oftentimes not really even a thing in Sky Strikers nowadays anymore, because you sometimes just end on linkage, send away the Shizuku, and then summon a 0. So there is a lot of different things that have to come together to check if Madlov's defense was lower than Dogoran on your opposing side.
But, I mean,
crazy.
You have so many skill expression of this matchup that it's crazy how many things you have to keep the things on, right?
It's
I mean,
very hard to follow this.
It is indeed.
You have the Vanquish Soul that the player needs to think of the attributes in hand, the placement of each monsters.
True.
For example, it's also relevant where Dogoran will be summoned in order to be buffed with Raisin potentially. And obviously the Sky Striker, as we mentioned before, that he needs to think a lot of moves ahead.
Agreed.
Definitely. But I mean, we want to make sure that everything goes according to plan here, and that important of a match, therefore only understandable that we are rewinding this situation currently to the point where the effect of Dr. Madlov was activated. So bear with us. We're going to be big with the match in just a moment. Don't worry about it. We're going to see all the gameplay. And again, of course, Leo did a small update in between. It looked like Rosalia was winning that first game on the other top 8 match. Another ticket for Worlds up for grabs. And they are currently really, really deep into the second game already. And it looks like it's going back and forth there, as we have it here also on display in the main hall, actually. I love that the players here, the viewers, everyone can see both matches at the same time.
We have 2 screens.
Yes.
We have 2 screens, and one of them is showing the backup featured match, and one of them is showing the main featured match that you can see at home as well. And Rosalie, I mean, both of these duelists were incredibly confident, right?
Yes, they were, but you know who's also confident? Judges and players on the main feature match, because we have rewinded the situation, so no time to be wasted anymore. Back to the table we go. There we have them. And yep, the Madlov now is back onto the field. The Dogoran stayed on the field, of course, as it wasn't the monster with the lowest defense. But now everything fixed and everything ready to go again. So the Dr. Madlov also going back to the hand now. And the Caesar Valius can come to the field.
And defense position. So now it is going to activate Holly Sue, Resin, and Heavy Borga revealed. I think for the next events with Vanquish Soul, I'm going to bring a notepad. Ooh. We're going immediately into the battle phase attack over the Shizuku with Jiaolong here.
There's no way. There's no way this Jiaolong is big enough, right? Apparently it is. Okay. I mean, a couple of our spell cards were banished, but really, is it that small? That is ludicrous to me to even imagine.
I mean, Jiaolong has 2,400. And there is a possibility that it's just 8 spells, right?
Yeah, I mean, must be. We see the damage. It was actually, okay, even 300 points of damage, meaning it was only 6 spells, 7. I'm bad at math, really.
Yeah, fair enough. But now the thing is, there is a Kaiju in the main monster zone. It's not even the situation anymore where you just had a Shizuku or an empty field. This is actually the first problem that you need to address if you're Teodor.
Wait, we're passing it over. This is, again, another turn for Teodor, and he didn't even take that much damage, and he starts with his turn with a gifted monster from Lorenzo with that Dogoran in his main monster zone. Still, of course, blocking the SAT card that we have there. I think the SAT card is Linkage, right?
Exactly, but it cannot be activated as well because Dogoran is on the main monster zone.
Of course.
And Teodor scoops it up, I think. Lorenzo Moselli wins game 1 here. The crowd goes...
And a couple months back, it would always be obvious that Sky Strikers would be going second. But now with the modern version, with the new support cards, I do really feel like, and Teodor agrees, it is more the going first deck again. And we start off here with reinforcement of the army, reinforcing ourselves into Sky Striker Ace Ray. But a huge cheer is going on in the crowd because Roll and Lockbird comes down from Lorenzo.
And I want to see right now if Teodor can extend through Roll, because his plan obviously is to make Sky Striker Ace 0 and part with couple of anchors maybe.
I mean, normal summon Sky Striker Ace Ray actually are going to link it away. Kind of looked like activating the effect as well.
He did, because we are going into 0.
That makes total sense, because this is already an interruption on the opposing turn.
Okay. That is triple tactics for us. Could send the Black Gold Loves, or maybe we have something even better from our side deck. There is in his side deck a dimensional barrier, but that card is just so bad against Vanquish Soul. Another reason why Vanquish Soul shines at the moment, and therefore it will be the more generic card. It will be that Black Gold Loves.
I mean, back in the day when Malice didn't exist, Vanquish Soul always played Dimension Shifter because it was a dark monster, which is good, but also because it stopped so many decks. We set another card on the side of Teodor. And he is going to pass it over to Lorenzo.
That is not an amazing amount of cards, and Lorenzo gets even more cards with activating that pot of extravagance. Such a good card. He explained earlier in his interview in the analysis corner, this card is so important to the Vanquish Soul strategy and gives him more cards here and now.
That is 6 cards, and Droll and Lockberg now also on the side of Teodor.
Returning the favor.
I mean, it's only fair that when your opponent draws, you also have a draw.
Yes.
This is the top 8 of Euros, and nobody searches here. Teodor is just now waiting for
But they search for the golden tickets to walls.
That's true. That's true, but will any of them find it? I'm not too sure at the moment, because now under Droll and Lockbird, after a pot of extravagance, there is a big problem for the Vanquish Soul deck, and that is that basically your normal summons, they don't add you another card. And if they get destroyed before they can go into the Rock of the Vanquisher, this could be problematic.
That is Dr. Madlov, who is really mad, but it's not searching anything right now, so that almost looks like a friendly Madlov. So that is probably going to be the reason. Like, we probably know... Oh, is this going to be... Wait, we did only summon once from the extra deck, so this would just be the Rock of the Vanquisher. But do you remember the feature match from Joshua Schmidt we had earlier, which was just banishing all 3 Rock of the Vanquisher from the extra deck?
And Rosalie actually already qualified for the World Championships, I've just heard. So we have another contender here from Europe, from Norway, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Very, very strong stuff in the Vanquish Soul mirror. She was the one coming out on top. And that means this match that we're witnessing here right now is the last one that needs to be determined. The last one where we find out who is going to the World Championship as well. The last golden ticket, as we like to call it.
I really want to see where Teodor will choose to activate Zero, since a potential anchor will not be able to activate later. So he needs to set up his defenses properly and activate any gate or destroy the correct cards.
I'm quite curious as to what Lorenzo's plan is. Right now, I can understand if Teodor doesn't want to activate Sky Striker Ace 0, because usually, yes, great target for destruction, these Vanquish Souls start, but right now you can't search anything. Dr. Madlov is attacking the 0 now.
I mean, activating the Vanquish Soul start, of course, was quite smart, because we can just protect from the destruction effect of the 0, of course, because we can just reveal a Vanquish Soul monster in our hand instead of it being destroyed.
And
so that's kind of cool.
you can trigger Jiaolong from hand.
Yeah, I feel like that might be what we're up to here. Lorenzo is in the battle phase. Reveals a Dr. Madlov, though, for it.
And that's fine, just taking a little bit of damage here as well. Now, we're chilling.
Oh, wait. Does that mean we want to go into possibly Vanquish Soul Rocks in the main phase too? Because we did now, in fact, attack with a Vanquish Soul monster. And sure, we all always think about the Zeus, which needs an Exceed monster to battle, but of course there is another new introduction to the Vanquish Soul theme, and that is also an Exceed monster, being the Vanquish Soul Rocks, which now hits the field.
And this one can now force out Sky Striker Ace 0, because Vanquish Soul Rocks gets rid of a card.
Ah, that is only if you used an Earth monster, though. But instead, we did use the Dr. Madlov, which is a Dark monster. So I think this effect actually is not as relevant, is it? Because I think it's only reducing attack points, or what was it again?
800 attack points.
So I'm curious about that, why this card is even in this very moment better, quote-unquote, than the Dr. Madlov.
Yeah, also wondering that.
I mean, I thought the Droll and Lockbird for the Sky Striker deck was such a tough thing to see. But now, equally so, I feel like that Droll and Lockbird for Lorenzo was maybe even harder.
If it hits the right card, right? Because if it is on after normal summon of Resin, oh, that is just a pass here for Lorenzo. Sky Striker A0 is not even activated later on as well, just keeps it on the field, can just do it now offensively, get rid of Vanquish Soul Rocks, special summon out 2 monsters. Yep, it's immediately activated here. We want Ray, we want Rose. Teodor is just accessing his deck right now. This is looking very, very good for our Sky Striker player.
So the draw and lock war that we just experienced have shown us that both decks struggle a little bit under draw, and that's why Lorenzo passed with Rocks and start, and now Teodor can really pop off and play with his Sky Striker monster.
And honestly, the Vanquish Soul Rocks is weird for multiple reasons, because now also with it being an Exceed monster, you can't really do anything with it. You can't really get it back into your hand for Borger, for Caesar Valiers or anything like that. It can get banished by a Zeke, of course, though, and that is what is going to happen here.
And it's really good at getting banished by Zeke.
Yeah, perfectly executed there by both players. And now Zeke, Lorenzo thinking about something here maybe.
He still has 4 cards in hand. The question is, what can he do with those 4? Zeke probably going into something like a Hayate, trying to set up perhaps an OTK if you find something like Linkage in your hand. Fuwalas is being activated.
Okay. We have now an empty field, so that gives Lorenzo the room to do that. And that makes Teodor now question his moves. Do we even want to summon any Sky Striker Link monsters now? Or is it just too costly of a thing to do?
To be honest, at this point, you just take the challenge.
Ooh, okay. Shark Cannon going after the Dr. Madlov. That's not free spell cards in the graveyard just yet, so we're just banishing, right?
No, they are free.
Now it is free, I think. What are the free? We have Reinforcement of the Army. We now...
Thrust.
Okay, the Thrust.
Also.
Yeah, but that's 2, and now it is the first.
Yeah,
okay.
Teodor is just going for the big plays here. Sky Striker, mobilize, engage. Can you set up enough interruptions? Looking for an anchor here. So I think this smells like an attack set 1 pass play. Does not look like he wants to commit into the Fuwalos.
Hold on, Leo, though. Before that, let's just draw another engage, right? Engage into engage is what we're planning beforehand. Teodor, come on. You're able to do it. That was always the plan. Okay. What are we going for? We're going for Kagari. Lorenzo quickly drawing his card here. Wants that engage, but it is gone with DD Crow.
DD
so now,
Crow taking away the engage, but that's a 1-for-1 trade, right? Because the Crow, it's also a dark monster that is no longer in Lorenzo's hand. Even though he has another Mad Love, if I remember correctly.
There should be another one. Yep, we did reveal that for our field spell for Vanquish Soul start. Teodor, do you have another engage? Nope, that is multi-roll. Sets another card. What could that be?
Probably the anchor.
Oh, I mean, and also let's not forget, the Black Gold Loves is still set on the field there. So Teodor, with the anchor and the Black Gold Loves, honestly looks pretty comfortable here.
Is Teodor really considering to give up a draw for a Shizuku to add something in the end phase?
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, we have seen that Shizuku can also be 0 or an anchor potentially.
Biggest Mad Love counter. But if you're going to search linkage and go into 0 now, then that's even more draws. This is really giving a player like Lorenzo Muselli ways to find himself into the game. No, the engage was banished before, so you can add 1 now with Shizuku.
The pressure can really be felt. There's so many people watching right now. Still, the venue is completely silent because everyone is just looking at that screen. It's just feeling with Teodor and Lorenzo as they're playing the match of their lifetime.
I wonder why he didn't do the old Sky Striker play that he had anchor activated to Shizuku and set it up with roll.
I think he feels pretty safe in his role as the player who probably won't get OTK'd this turn and has a engage setup.
And get follow-up.
I can definitely understand your emotion.
I think Lorenzo just announced that he's not using the effect of Dr. Madlove. We already went for the field spell, and of course the trap card, the Vanquish Soul Snow Devil, could possibly be a card you side out going second. Yeah. And especially also in general against the Sky Striker deck, not too strong of a card to have in the first place. Now we activate. Okay.
The effect of Madlove.
Yes, and then we follow it up with the Jalong activation in hand.
Yep. And now Teodor says, wait, hold up, just announce the effect activation first. Maybe I want to activate something. And he's going to go for the Black Gold Gloves. No Jalong for Lorenzo Muselli this turn.
That is huge. This card is actually really good. We were thinking about whether he has specific options for the Vanquish Soul matchup, but honestly, that card is pretty decent on its own. It doesn't need to be that specific. And there now is the Typhon, which Teodor allowed because he decided to summon from the extra deck multiple times.
I think that, I mean, there is Widow Anchor, and you're going to activate it immediately to just stop the Typhon effect from bouncing. You know your opponent is not going to summon anymore this turn, and you're going to get that card back with the multi-roll.
Okay, now in the end phase, the Vanquish Soul Rocks comes back, and of course the Typhon as well. Typhon in general, not really a card that is giving the Sky Striker deck too many headaches, because the monsters are usually rather small.
Unless you get a really big Kagari, but this feels like Sky Striker peak gameplay. Mobilize Engage is being activated again. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is the answer.
And we could have countered that by activating the effect of multi-roll beforehand, but Teodor wanted to immediately activate his most favorite card in the world, and therefore maybe forgot about even that card being on his side of the field.
But I mean, we have Kagari anyways, right?
But he has revealed the DD Crow.
Oh, DD Crow, Engage number 2 is banished now! And the grind game of Teodor's deck may have been significantly hurt here.
The thing is that Engage is, of course, a fantastic card, but it doesn't change the way your deck plays, because you can still access all of your other cards.
Okay, Widow Anchor, we're taking control of the Typhon. Attacking over Vanquish Soul Rocks, and Kagari goes in for some further damage, but this game will keep on going.
This is not game yet, and Teodor is just right now thinking, why can't I just simply win this game against Lorenzo Muselli, the Italian powerhouse who just stays in there. He is just so incredibly resilient.
Yep, it is really an even duel here between the two. One move back and forth between each of them, but turn will certainly go back to Lorenzo very shortly.
He has used Zeke, he has... Oh, what are we going to go into now? Going to find another Shizuku no Hayate here, which makes sense, I guess. You can just use the effect if you're getting attacked, unless we have something else planned here for Lorenzo.
A potential Rose maybe on hand.
Oh, now the multi-roll on the Typhon. Of course, we don't want to give that card back. That could have possibly been the first action we could have done on the entire turn, and that would have been it. That would have been nicer because we activated, or we could have resolved the two engages there.
I mean, only one. The other one was Kagari, and then it was banished by DD Crow.
Look at that, nothing to set back with the multi-roll. Now, all the opportunities for Lorenzo, and he finds a reinforcement of the army on the top, gets the Raisin, but gets drolled again.
Another answer from Teodor. This is so back and forth, Lorenzo. Now, with the decision, will I try to attack over this Hayate? You give your opponent one more mill. It's more resources for multi-roll in the graveyard. And there should still be Ray in there, right?
Yeah, I think it's already Ray in the graveyard, to be honest.
This game really so close. No real way to tell who's going to come out on top.
I mean, you still normal summon Raisin and go into Rock of the Vanquisher, right?
Almost certainly, I would agree. There is the Raisin, doesn't even bother about the column that Hayate is in, because we really don't want to destroy it. Reveal for the effect of Raisin, of course. That's not the searching effect, but the other effect to protect itself.
And only 6.5 minutes left in the game.
Oh, wow.
That is true. Okay, going through the graveyard, checking things out here, maybe checking what kind of cards could be added back with a possible rock, but... Oh, what is Teodor planning here?
I think he might have Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit here and
no,
thinks about using
his hand is Drollen, so you have to...
It is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit being chained to the Raisin.
This is taking away the Rock of the Vanquisher, but you can still summon out the Jiaolong. You can go for some damage or just go into the Rock of the Vanquisher here. I mean, I don't know if I would want to attack over the Hayate at this point.
It's probably not something that feels very well. On the other hand, Teodor has shown that there is not many Sky Striker monsters even left in his extra deck, but one that is definitely still in there is a second copy, of course, of a Zero, which is a scary card to face, really, in this game state that we're in currently.
And can be accessed through Sky Striker Ace Ray, obviously.
Yeah.
Hayate is now going to mill either another copy of Ray or maybe something that you can add back with your Kagari. Adds back
and engage
the
maybe to summon Ray and make Kagari and take engage back.
True, okay, Ray back onto the field.
Ultimate rare, Sky Striker Ace Ray.
And that looks like a pass. In the end phase, of course, Teodor being quickly about it, goes ahead, brings out the wonderful Sky Striker A0, and that is the game for Teodor. We're scooping it up.
minutes and 30 seconds left remaining. Lorenzo Moselli is starting up the game.
And that is the most important game of their lives so far. It all comes down to this very game. And that is a Holly Sue start from Lorenzo, which is very, very, very strong. So we did not break at the very least now.
Speaking for consistency issues, I think that Holly Sue is one of the best starters of the deck.
Okay, and we reveal Dogo Ran and also another attribute to make sure we get to special summon here. So we just kept the Dogo Ran in the deck to have as many attributes as possible to reveal.
Dogoran and Dr. Madlove as well. So there is a normal summon. Resin is being activated. Teodor just nods here. He might have Joel and Lockbird. And the Heavy Borga is being summoned immediately. Lorenzo is not joking around here. He just wants this big monster to deal some damage.
And he also needs to find Earth attribute in order to be the Borga be able to do some
You can
damage.
bounce the Holly Sue.
Yeah.
That works like a charm indeed. We do go for Dr. Madlove, Vanquish Soul start. Not even Joel and Lockbird this time around for Teodor. So Lorenzo really free to do whatever he likes. Free to create his own path to the World Championship.
And I mean, there's only 1 minute left in the time, so I really believe that Borger may actually play a huge role right now.
Yep, there is even the possibility to go for a rare rank 4 exceeds on the side of Lorenzo. No, bounces back. The Dr. Madlove activates Heavy Borga. Teodor has no answer, takes 1,500 damage. Nods, looks a little bit defeated, but there is still a few seconds left on the clock. Lorenzo Moselli still can't play. He's going to go to the end phase.
Okay, Teodor does have some time. 40 seconds, we need Sky Striker speed now. Can he do it? We're going into the main phase so quickly. Come on, Teodor. There is one engage. We need to resolve this quickly, though.
Can engage, resolve, or does Lorenzo have Ash? He's going to activate Heavy Borger again. Is going to deal another bit of damage. Writes down the 1,500. Teodor nods. Will resolve the Sky Striker multi-roll. It's 15 seconds left remaining here. This has to be the fastest Sky Striker turn in the history of the game.
Okay, now the triple tactic thrust. What could that be? What are we trying to get with that? Harpiest Feather Duster. Okay, we want to make it as easy as possible. Surely we're going to chain the Snow Devil. Yep.
Even more damage. Lorenzo looks for another response. Teodor is sighing right here. Shows 1, 2, 3 attributes. That is so much damage, and there is a fist bump. Lorenzo Moselli goes to the World Championships in Paris. Finally, after so many...
Hace mucho tiempo.